Well, here we are. Explore the Akash.
Explore the Akash. Welcome, everybody. I'm in charge today, so to speak, because today Val will be answering the questions of the Akash. And so she has made me administrator so that I can help work with her in this time. And remember that there's no personal Akashic questions here. But if you want to ask a question that would benefit the collective, please put them in the chat. I have a lot of questions to ask her, but we always welcome your questions as well, just as long as you know. Yes. So, yeah. So welcome, Val. It's been a while.
I know. I feel like we haven't, I missed sisters, and so I didn't get to touch base with you there, but tomorrow, of course, we'll be
back on sisters. That's right. That's awesome. So we should say hello. I did let my people know that I'm over here on your channel today. So we'll hopefully everybody in yours also got the message and they're coming in. But we have Laura here and Cobb Ub and Jen Carr, Teresa Hadarian, Mangled Unicorn, and Edward Kenneth are here. It's wonderful to have you guys here. Thanks for being here today. Yeah. So let's see. We do you need to do anything to prepare yourself? Do you want to start?
I came from meditating, and I'm all.
Okay. You're all jazzed up to go.
Primed up.
All right, that's awesome. So yes, hello Sue and hello CJ. I'm so glad you're all here. Yeah. So let's go. Let's begin then. Let us begin the journey. This is so much fun. I love asking the questions just as much as answering them. So recently, within the last several days or weeks, I'm not quite sure, there was a huge mass in Antarctica, ice shelf that moved itself away from what was underneath it. And they have been saying that there is a lot there for us to look at, including animals and or let's just say fish originally, because there's going to be different types of fish that are there. But they're also saying this possibility that there's a city under there. So I'd love to ask the Akashic Masters, what lies under this newly identified area?
Okay, let's go in and ask. I want to know too. Yes, as you referred to the ancient civilizations, there are a few ancient civilizations as you go down further, beyond where your eyes can see. There are layers of many civilizations, and you will find things that will shift your reality. Everything that you have known to date, and some things that have been hidden from you, but all will be revealed in time and in just the right timing. As these things occur through melting glaciers, through melting ice, through climatic changes, the shifts that are coming are revealing the hidden. And so look for this. You will see different animal species. You will see fish you may never have known before. There are many galactic beings of many forms that live in the waters. And these beings may let themselves be seen on occasion. So there is much to look forward to going forward. So this is what we wish to say to you today.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Akashic Records Masters. Last night, they have informed us that there are now radio pulses that are coming from beneath that ice. Is there anything I'm wondering if it's crystalline energy perhaps coming up from there?
There are many crystal forms, and there are many energy centers that were constructed from what you know as your galactic relatives. You are hearing frequencies from and energy signals from these devices, these mechanisms. For those who live beneath the waters, have shifted from that location,
Okay. Wow.
you will be seeing these devices, these construction objects that will be unexplainable in our scientific knowledge. So you may look for that.
Wow.
There are crystalline structures that radiate this vibrational energy out there. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's awesome. Thank you, Akashic Records Masters. Thank you for putting questions in. I'll get to them, I promise. How many underground cities are currently built to house the elites in the event of a nuclear event?
There are more than 30 main bases of underground elite and over 300 of the lower level, shall we say, people who have the means to buy their seat in or birth in this underground location. So 300 of those and about 30 of the very large, and we're talking about underground city large locations. So worldwide. And that is a lot considering the size of these locations. More than we would have anticipated you would create. But then this is created from a fear of not being able to survive when there is no death. Therefore, it's unnecessary.
It just seems to bring forward that whole idea of fear and grabbing and
Yes, you are correct. Yes.
All right. A general question from Edward. When you are either channeling or working with the Akashic Records Masters for Valerie, this is a question for Valerie who's doing the channeling. Do you recall the messages that you're sharing later on?
Very few of the messages are recalled. That is why normally I channel. If I'm doing it on my own, I'm channeling with a pen and paper. Because you step aside and the consciousness comes into my awareness and I'm connected like I am right now, even though I'm speaking.
Even though you're speaking, right.
I am still connected to the Akashic Record Masters, such as I do in an Akashic Record reading. So I know don't remember. That's why I record a session.
Yep.
And for myself, I write it down. I can't. You don't retain channeling.
No, you don't. And that's my experience as well, Edward. Yeah. Yep. Thank you for the question, though. That's wonderful. Great question. All right. Moving into something a little kind of mind blowing is: have there been any time travelers who have returned to our time from the future?
Oh, yes, there have been many, actually.
Oh, wow.
Some of them that have been in the news or been written about were authentic, and some are not. will say that those who have gone through portals and ended up in different time periods and somehow found their way back, those people did experience what they claim to have experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many beings who travel in both directions.
Okay.
And the direction is a misnomer. It is just everything that's happening now, even what we would think is the past or something before and after, that really doesn't exist. It's just everything, all things now. So yes, of course, in that way, in that spiral of jumping to here and there, you can definitely go from here to there and back again. And there have been many, and there still are. Yes.
Wow, that's fabulous. When a timeline shift occurs, are we in a parallel universe some of that time?
Timelines are like branches on a tree, different possibilities, and they all exist all at once, all at the same time. Everything you could ever imagine is already there. Every single configuration of anything you could imagine. And so let's just say that rather than call it a parallel life, call them the different yous in all these different timelines, because there are so many. It's not just a parallel. You have yourself on this spiral going out in time, and out in time, and out in time, and that might be the past, what we consider the past, but you can jump into that, and just like you can the future. Will you stay there, or you will only stay where you resonate, and you will change and shift to what you resonate with? So what your conscious everyday moment vibration is, peace, love, harmony, you're going to jump into that. You're going to be in that energy. It will come to you. You will just wake up one day and you're in that. It solidifies into your now moment. So I'm not sure if we answered your question or not.
That's all right, Akashic Records Masters. Thank you for that. I'm just wondering, sometimes when we do something or we become something that is drastically different from what we are, which some might call walk-ins, but that might also be on that people mover, so to speak, during universes.
Not quite sure what you mean.
With when you were describing the parallel lives, and you said how I'm wondering if let's say, for instance, we become totally drastically different from who we are. In other words,
yes, correct. Because actually the you that is now is a totally different being than the you in another timeline. You are a different personality. You came with to house and work with what you decided to come in and do. And every one of you, it won't be the you know.
Yeah.
They won't.
It's a lot of quantum physics, and very, I'm not expecting you to host a class on that, Akashic Records Masters. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. Yeah. All right. So let's see. We have another question from.
Well, let me go back to this. So
all right, sure.
Yep. So as the as the Oversoul is sending the souls out to do whatever they're doing in whatever job they've got and whatever information they're collecting in their experience, that is when it breaks down to the fractals. That is when it shoots out into the different jobs in all the different timelines and all the different experiences. And in that, every single one has a personality of its own, has to collect and resonate and experience that time. It can't just be the same one personality type. That's for a certain. So if you understand it that way, it all flows back.
Right.
Is energy after, at the conclusion of that. So I hope that makes sense.
that really is. Thank you very much, Akashic Records Masters. I see that there is somebody in the chat that says they are a walk-in. Can you speak a little bit about walk-ins, please?
Yes. Well, there are different types of agreements before coming in, and nothing is by chance. Everything is by agreement. And when one is, for instance, having a near-death experience, and perhaps they decide to stay on the other side, but their body is still functioning. But then the higher part of them, another element of them, not another soul, but another element of them comes in. And I mean, it can be from a different timeline, it can be from a future, it can be from anything, but it's you individuated in that way. And although people think it's not them, it is them. We are all one.
Correct.
Yet we have, that's us with our soul creating an opportunity to bring in even a higher aspect of ourselves to experience even more things. Now, this is something that would have been decided before coming in. It would have been contracted to happen.
Between the two parties.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's wonderful to know. Thank you very much, Akashic Records Masters. For those of you who just came in late, we are only taking community questions for the Akashic Records Masters, no personal today, please. And I just want to welcome you all, those of you who just came in. We're kind of in a flow here, so I'm going to continue. Let's see. Here's one that I've been dying to know. Who found and took Nikola Tesla's luggage and all of the things that with his information in it when he died in his hotel room many years ago? There were lots and lots of things in there that he had.
Truth be known, the FBI did take a large portion, but there were also private parties who took certain things. It was taken to be kept out of the hands of the general public because the inventions and information were so far advanced that the government knew it would be very problematic if it fell into other people's hands. So they took a lot of it. And yes, the mentioning of Trump's uncle taking some things, he did indeed, and he does have those items.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So these things are still hidden and kept from the public. They were definitely secreted away. Can I address? I saw a question in the chat about, but we made an agreement. Now I don't remember.
Spiritual pacts.
So I just want to say,
yeah.
Yeah. Nothing is by happenstance. Nothing is by chance. This is really an organized universe.
Right.
So
Yep.
there is always a reason for everything, and there's always an agreement.
Mhm.
It isn't a just now agreement, because the way that our system is set up here in the Earth School, we really have to follow those main agreements that we agreed to. It just happens. You do. And you may think in your conscious mind, oh, I just agreed to it now. Well, sure, you did, but you didn't. You agreed to it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
You did it and you don't remember you did it.
you
That's
don't
all.
remember. Yeah.
Right.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, thank you for that. And that's a very interesting way to become a walk-in. And thank you for sharing that with us, Spiritual Hacks. That's
And
interesting.
let me just say, everyone out there has galactic counterparts. We are on other planets right now living. We are in different races of galactic beings. We are all these things at one time. So you are, in fact, meeting yourself in another form.
Yeah. Well, Spiritual Hacks, you're just relating your experience, but those are not our people's teachings. Oh, okay. Thank you for your feedback. We appreciate it. All right. So let's see what we got here. This is a pretty good question from Kim. Other than us agreeing to our contract for being here on Earth, what determines your incarnation? For example, an evil person most likely did not live fulfilling spiritual lives. Could you clarify?
Contract being here on Earth, what determines your incarnation? An evil person most likely did not live fulfilling spiritual lives. My channeling brain can't hook into that.
All right. So
determines
besides
your
what choices? It is individual choices, though. It's not something else that determines whether you come back.
An evil person most likely did not live fulfilling spiritual. Yeah, let me explain this to you. Let me go into the Akashic Record Masters. If I am getting this correctly, because you're actually making a statement. So let me go in and ask. So the soul, the evolved soul, the nature of a soul as an individuated spark of divine source, you are whole, you are light. There isn't any part of you that is not that light. When you come in for an experience, you might select a very big experience where you have the opportunity to experience shifting the world in some way. And you might have selected a lifetime as Hitler to come in and make choices to love or to destroy and to hate. It was your choice to come in. You had the opportunity to show people what they didn't want, just like the now timing. And so the experience is created for the contrast. And so the job was to come in and create that contrast, that in a big way, in a global way. At the same time, the soul could have taken a softer path, but still it wouldn't have been what the world would have wanted to see. It is not an evil soul. It is a soul who came in for a mission. The soul is beautiful light. The soul is whole. There is no part of yourself that is diminished. You are this light. And the things you see in this world are an illusion and just mirroring back to you information that you are playing with, like in a play. And so it is that understanding that you are still this beautiful whole soul, and then what you experience here is not real in the sense that you can never be destroyed, you can never die, you don't die, you just are the energy form after this physical body. You are the energy form. So I hope that made sense.
Yeah. The other thing, Akashic Records Masters, maybe you could firm up is, can the individual, once they have incarnated, change the contract as they're living here?
This is a really interesting question. And as such, as the grand contract, as the grand experience that you came in for, in your higher self, in your soul self, that had the wisdom and the desire and the heart to experience what you came into experience, it is very unlikely that you would be able to do that. Now, would you, if you were embodying your full soul while here? It's possible. So you would have to resonate at that frequency of your soul level to make a soul decision.
Sure. That makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you. Thank you, Akashic Records Masters.
You're welcome.
Aley Mack says, so your own free will can take you off the rails.
Your own free will can definitely take you down some roads that you might otherwise not want to go down. But
I love that. I mean, I don't love that, but it's just the fact that we were given that free will. And we can screw with it if we wish. And that's a problem because it can create other problems. So thanks, Aley Mack. I love that. Love that thing. All right. So let's see. Jen Carr wonders, if you have a big mission, can the dark, so to speak, with quotes around it, like the dark light, set people up with situations to try to stop your mission or stop you from your potential?
That's another good question.
I know. Yeah.
It is wise to understand that there is only divine source energy, and that what you experience here in Earth School is your creation. You created Earth School to experience this contrast, and you created the difference between the light, the dark, the yin, the yang, the good, the bad, the dialectic thinking. This is to separate you. This is about separation so that you don't feel that oneness, that unity with all that is. This is something we created so we would be able to understand what that's like to live without that connection. When you look at the dark and you of yourself, for instance, and you bring it into yourself and you embody that as part of yourself, embracing it, say it's the part of you that may have been jealous or the part of you that may have been, resentful. And you just embrace that and love that part of yourself and allow your shadow to be you. Don't deny it. For denying it is to deny that everything is God, that you are God source energy now. That's the game. Separation is the game. Don't separate. Be part of it.
That's right. Oh, beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you, Akashic Records Masters. That was wonderful. And it certainly it shows us that choice is always something that we can make ourselves And so if we're going down a path of something that isn't good for us, a lot of that is our own free will.
It is.
Doing that, right?
There isn't an outside force or
Right.
source. The universe is here to create flow and give you abundance. You are that infinite field. You are that abundance. You are the source energy. That is all that is. Therefore, everything that comes to you is a mirror of what's inside of you that needs to be flipped around and seen in a little different way. And it's all perspective. And the thing here in Earth School is you get to be right. How you think of things and how you see things and how you hold your idea about how the world works. For you, it is true. For you, in your perspective, in your universe, you have made that true. Now, what would you choose? Love and oneness and unity, or separation and division?
Right. Beautiful. Thank you again, Akashic Records Masters. So Cobb Ob says, Chris here, this human experiment, why? Why the universe? This may take us several hours, Chris, but why our and other universes? Yeah.
Well,
that's a big question.
In essence, the energy that is divine source, this field, this infinite intelligent field of source energy that we are, wanted to experience itself. It wanted to experience what that was like out there, creating experiences upon experiences to inform them, us, of all that is, of all the experiences you could ever experience. Because as a blissful energy form, as a form filled with euphoria, that's all you know. You know that, and that is you can't sense yourself, because that's what all you are. And so you individuate and you create avenues to experience all life. And we're talking about galactic life, beings, multiverses, yes, multiverses, infinite multiverses upon multiverses, with all of you being creator gods in your universe, creating another universe, creating creator gods from you. This is an endless field of existence to learn and experience, because when there is only the bliss, you don't have the contrast to know what it's like to be the other, to be
that's and opposite, when you're in a lot of pain and you don't heal from the pain and find the bliss, then you don't realize it either. So it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. That is absolutely true.
Beautiful, beautiful. My answer as a human being would say, why not on this human experiment? You know? Yeah.
You could, because divine source said,
yeah.
So
there you go.
Let there be light.
Let's have some fun. Let's play a chess game here. Yeah, I love this. Yeah, awesome. Great questions, everybody. Thank you for the beautiful questions. So I am going to bring those questions sort of in now, because I want to talk about Mars. There's been the rover on Mars that has seen all these things on Mars, things that could be considered to be man-made or Martian-made or whatever.
Yes.
What happened? What happened on Mars? Can you tell us?
Mars. Yes. Mars had many civilizations living upon it, and there were wars. And they did have disaster where they had a nuclear explosion, and they did have a situation where it was uninhabitable for a while. But there are beings inside the planet, even on Mars, that live beneath the surface. And there are beings that are not our dimension, but they are there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Beautiful.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Are there any Martians who came to Earth?
Oh yes.
Okay, like the other ones, like the Pleiadians, like the Arcturians. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
The Martians did too. Yes.
Earth
Awesome.
has been we'll say a dormitory for much life.
Immigrants. Yes, immigrants. Yes.
Immigrants.
If only he knew. All right. So recently, of course, when things shift, we find things that have been buried under ice or other snow.
Mhm.
And recently, there was a 9,000-year-old person's bones found,
Mhm.
and they said this type has never been seen on Earth before. It was not Cro-Magnon, not
Mhm.
Neanderthal, not any of those bones at all. Can you
Yeah.
tell us who that might have been? Akashic record.
Well, what the Akashic Record Masters are showing me are long, long limbs, and the body is quite different than our bodies, but
Mhm.
they definitely are not beings that we've seen on the earth. They are extraterrestrial in nature, and some of those beings were here doing scientific experiments because we are like a laboratory to them. We being the whole entire planet is a hotbed of research going on, and
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
it is something that humanity will discover as more and more is revealed. And we mean layers of earth will be redistributed through these changes that are happening. Waterways will shift and change, and things will be revealed. Nothing can be hidden anymore.
Mhm.
Therefore, you will all see that there were giants, and you'll see skeletons of giants. You'll see skeletons of beings that are um, quite different
Mhm.
in form than us. This is coming.
Yeah, the
So,
big reveal.
the
Mhm.
big reveal.
That's right. Wow. Yes, because Greenland's ice shelf actually is melting a lot sooner than they thought it would. And they're saying that this will impact oceans. And so, of course, Greenland is also full of ice
Yeah.
and snow covering. And so I'm imagining that some things will be showing up there as well. So
Yes, things will show up in Iceland, absolute, or Greenland.
Greenland, yeah.
Yeah, Greenland. And this is also something you have to understand, that as volcanic activity occurs and land masses shift and waterways rise in from the melting of this, the the fire of volcanoes, this is going to be a factor in the melting,
Hmm. Hmm.
because
Wow.
there will be volcanoes in the middle of the ocean.
There are, yeah.
They,
Hmm.
they will be creating islands. Things will be shifting. Um, and going forward, you will see many of these things on Earth themselves.
Okay. Wow.
Many in the government will try to cover this up, but it will become apparent that it's too many, too much, not enough people to even be able to cover it all up.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Hmm. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Mm,
Wow.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Um, shifting shifting to something that is a real perplexing thing. Um, So the current president of the United States was supposedly assassinated or attempted assassination by
Mhm.
a shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania, but we've heard nothing more about the shooter. What can you tell? Can you tell me anything about what's going on with that person? Because a lot of people think he's not on the other side.
That person is still alive. However, he is not mentally stable enough to interview. And there were a lot of factors in what happened in that situation that most people do not want in the political system exposed.
Makes sense.
That's what all we'll say about that.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Akashic Records Masters are not political. That's all right. That's okay. There was another question that came in. Let's see if I can find it. Sue Toffee, do we meet our other selves, fractals on Earth, or do we not know our other selves? I love the question.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you may. But it's not, we'll just call it almost like a repelling force by design, so that you don't meet up too much, or you don't
Right.
because it is a situation where you all have your missions, you all have your divine plan, you all have something to accomplish, and that is what you're really here for. And yes, you will see many people will run into what they call doppelgangers. And for instance, and that sense of deja vu, or that sense of knowingness, will hit you. Oh, yeah. Wow, that looks like me.
I've had that happen, actually.
It won't really be you, because as we talked about, the individual personalities that are formed. So when you leave this vessel, you don't have a personality as such. You are just this divine being that is, you still know who you've had lifetimes with, and you feel that love for those people, but it's not the same kind of personality that we have on Earth.
Okay, that's interesting.
So
Thank you.
Know that. Yes.
Thank you, Akashic Records Master.
Okay.
So Mangled Unicorn wonders, does every person in the Earth School have souls? Are there soulless ones?
Oh, that was a good question. So this is something that Helena Blavatsky channeled in many years ago, in the late 1800s. It was one of the last things that she worked on, and lots of information came from the ascended masters to her regarding this, the ones that are soulless. And it was really hidden. She never revealed this information, and somebody came across it after she died. And so this is the reason for this, is because on our planet today, there are many beings that are born that seem like they're soulless. And we call them narcissists, people that have no feeling toward another person, people who are moving only in their own reasoning, no higher self, nothing to guide them, no consciousness to direct them. That disconnect. In truth, are they soulless? No, they are not soulless, but they are soulless from a standpoint of they're not connecting to their divine spark in this lifetime while they are here, for a reason, for a purpose. And it is one of those things that are to show us what it looks like to be feelingless, to be heartless, to be manipulative, to be only concerned with our own selves. So in that way, the information that Helena received is correct in that they come in as a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Are they beings that exist? Yes, they exist without their vehicle. So they are souls, but they do not have the soul light. They don't have the spark. They have lost that connection, and they came in to experience that in some way, shape, or form for the purpose. There's always a divine purpose for everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's always a purpose that even if it looks very different from what we would agree with, right?
Correct. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. So scientists are working on a third state of consciousness that exists between life and death. And they're saying that xenobots and anthrobots can survive beyond the life of a person for 4 to 6 weeks. Now, that doesn't mean that it just means that part of their bodies apparently are living still. Can you tell us anything about that, or Akashic Records Masters?
Let me see. Well, the physical vessel in some of these creatures and some of these life forms have almost, we'll say, nervous systems that allow for continuation even when the brain has died, when the soul has left. And does everything have a soul, a consciousness? Yes, everything does. And so what is left is a sympathetic nervous system that still remains much like, and they're laughing, much like the Walking Dead zombies. That's what they're liking it to. They showed me.
Oh, wow.
They're just walking.
They have a sense of humor. Boy, oh boy, they're saying, you guys don't know how much you're doing on Earth that is like a metaphor for what's going on.
They're hilarious.
It is hilarious. It is. God, I love that. I love that. So my feeling was when I saw this that if you crackle and decide to be cremated, then they're gone right away. But if you're not, then they're going to hang on for a few more weeks.
It's possible.
It's possible. Thank you, Akashic Records Masters. So let's see. Much like everyone awaited a weight loss pill or a weight loss shot, will there be a new drug introduced within the next couple of decades to reverse aging?
To reverse aging?
Or allow us to live longer, one or the other, yeah.
There will be CRISPR technology that will create the cellular information to regenerate. It is already underway. And so the answer to that is yes. So there will be many cell regeneration systems. And one of them, as I said, will come from CRISPR technology.
Beautiful. So all of us are here at the right time, everybody.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. Let's see what else I've got. I think there was another one from the chat. Oh, we have about 10 minutes left. just giving you that idea here. And let's see. Will the shift of the Platonic shelf cause a divide in the U.S.? You're talking about a physical divide, right? Right, Kim? A physical divide. Okay.
I have to say, there is, I know in my consciousness, the Val knows
Right.
the Edgar Casey predictions about that United
Yeah.
States, split. So just so you know that, so I'm going in and asking the Akashic Record Masters what they have to say about that.
Okay.
And they're saying, dear ones, this is a long way off. Nothing you have to worry about now.
Okay.
But at some point, yes, there will be some shifting of the plates. The shelves will shift, and so you will have some separation of landmass, but it won't be in your lifetime. This is a long time from now, but and not as severe as Edgar Casey had been shown, because we have mitigated a lot of it with our awakening consciousness and what is happening now. So
beautiful. Beautiful. I would imagine it would be a slow in coming. It isn't like an inundation of everything in one fell swoop. Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you so much, Akashic Records Masters. Can you tell us, Akashic Records Masters, how are crop circles formed? And who forms them?
Well, the crop circles that are communication from the extraterrestrials who watch over humanity are really, it's a form of energy. I can't explain it in a way, but they're showing me like a blast of energy that goes out and creates this like harmonic resonance that creates the imagery and pushes down the field. Does that make sense? And I want to say laser, like, but, but not fiery laser type, but a laser heat kind of thing along with that. And so these are communication areas, messages, symbols for humanity. Are they symbols and things and crops for beings who are above? No, dear ones. So many of you have heard that this is for extraterrestrials, messages to each other. No, they can telepathically communicate with each other. They don't need rings on Earth. And that these are designs created to stimulate inside humanity that awakening process, that information, that intelligent awakening inside the cells. So if you gaze at the crop circles online or however you can see them, it is a wonderful thing to do. But many scientists are studying and are interpreting the information correctly. And there's a lot of information there to be had.
It looks to be a sort of a light code.
Yes.
Light code.
There are many layers of information inside of that. And so those who go directly to the crop circle after it's done feel the energy, the magnetic field.
Magnetic force. Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I have no more questions for today, but I do have a question from the chat that is just asking general guidance about setting intention so that these people can access the Akashic records. I will, and I know you all know that Val does a very wonderful class for a very inexpensive price on the Akashic records, and that so many of us walked out of there with, having access, and it only escalates over time. And so, is there any guidance you, Val, or the Akashic Records Masters can offer for those interested in accessing?
The Akashic field resides in everything, in the infinite field, in every cell of your body. Everywhere is the whole of the universe. And inside that whole is all the access to everything. Everyone accesses the Akashic records already. They just don't know it. How you access the records, it is with your intuition, with your gateway to everything, with that channeling, that way to access the higher frequencies, because it is important to get in a state of higher frequency to be tuning in to talk to the Akashic Record Masters. So I'm going to say as Val.
As Val.
July 19th, Akashic Record class, Akashic Record reading class. And $49. And I still keep it that low. You will walk away reading the Akashic Records. You will know exactly how to do it, and you will have done it before you leave the class. Right. So
I can attest to that.
Yeah, it's not one of those things where you go and then you just, what do I do now? Then after the class, there are 2 more practice sessions on Zoom. Right. So you're never left wondering, well, you get to practice and see, read for people. It is something that if you're really interested in doing, you can absolutely do it. People access the records all the time when they get intuitive hits about people, when they get a, whatever, you're tuning into the Akashic field.
You absolutely are. You have to trust it.
You trust it, because we're all that field of infinite possibility. So it's undeniably there. That's why it's so easy. When you take this class at dragonflycrystals.store, you can sign up, not .com, .store. And you will access the records quite easily because you already do.
Right. That's right. And Arlene, those of you who took the class that need a tune-up, Val says if you've taken the class, you can come and audit it. Absolutely.
Any class that you have ever taken from me, it is a standing mission. You sit in on any class again.
You can.
Because it just helps the participants to have somebody there who's actually taken the class before. I mean, I love it. And just email me and I will send you the link to the class.
That's right. That's right.
So
I mean, as a person that helped Val move along in classes, but doing some help with her,
Thank you, Val.
This made me more and more aware, and reiterated the information and made me have more confidence in what it was that I was doing. So,
and I love that you said confidence, because basically these classes are just to give you the confidence to know you can do it. So,
So just contact Val so she can have you on the list if via Dragonfly Crystal's email, and you wouldn't have to do it through the store again because you were.
You don't have to do it through the store. I'll just send you the link, and I have somebody that just took my is taking my channeling class who had already taken it. She just wanted to sit in again, and she did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes, this class is July 19th, Vicki. And is it what time, Val?
It's at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Pacific. Okay. 2 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, 2 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad you asked the questions. And I know that Val has told me that before, that you can audit the class. So
you can,
come
absolutely.
Come on down if you've heard
a tune-up, or just to see, refresher.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's great. And you get to practice a little bit more too. So Anyway, well, thank you, Akashic Records Masters. Thank you, Val, the
Thank
beautiful
you.
vessel for the Akashic Records. And we will see you in 2 weeks on my channel where Val asks the questions and the Akashic Records answer through me. So
I love
have
it.
a great one, everybody.
Can't wait for that. And thank you,
Yeah.
Aley. And see you guys later. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.